Hey guys, this is Catalin, and I want to do an interesting series. It's called Lessons Learned, and the first video I'm going to do on this one is on Bob Proctor. I had an interview with him well over 1.5 years ago, and it changed my perception and probably my life. But basically what it's going to be is I'm going to talk about some lessons that I've learned from Bob, and at the end I'm going to have a call to action for everybody that's watching to do the same thing with the people that they've learned things from. Bob Proctor, I met him in Serbia, in Belgrade, at one of his conferences, I think in November 2016, which was a long time ago. Lessons learned. Number one is, I was speaking to him and he mentioned the fact that everything that is created twice. So that's lesson number one. Everything that we do is first created in our minds and then created in real life. And I actually have a poster with this. There you go. Abracadabra, which basically mean that, can you see it? So basically means that this is like your imagination, and this is like everything that could be possibly created, and this is real life. And basically our responsibility is to take things from one side to another. So lesson number one. Lesson number two is the universe is dynamic, there's no stasis. I used to have this belief that whenever we don't do something and we choose not to do it, the things that we have stay the same. If we don't go to the gym, we stay fit in the same way. If we don't train our brain, we stay fit in our brain, our capacity. Turns out that's not true. The universe is always moving at atomic level. It's always moving, and if you don't improve, what happens if it doesn't stay the same? It actually goes down, so there's no stasis. So that's lesson number two. Lesson number three is don't avoid your life. He was telling me a story about that most people really tend to avoid having goals, really spelling and putting down on paper what they want, what they're good at, what they're not good at, what they want, what they do not want out of life, till close to death. So I think that's a really interesting point, because that avoidance happens in all of us. And his call to action for that was basically, if we can go and like head up, deal with our insecurities, with our fears, and actually figure out what is really that we want, what is it that we don't want, write it down on paper, and then actually go towards that, it's interesting. Why I don't believe that people actually take the time to figure out what they want is, after you actually write it down and you think of it, now you feel kind of obligated to do it. So people don't do it because they don't want to feel the obligation to do it. So that's my three lessons. Lesson number one is everything is created twice, first time in your mind and then in real life. Lesson number two is there's no stasis, there's only growing or decreasing in your ability or in everything that you're doing. And lesson number three is don't avoid your life. Now my call to action for you would be the following. Number one, if you want to watch the full interview with Bob, I will have a link somewhere, or you can just Google Bob Proctor interview. I think it's like number one. Number two, if you have people that you learn stuff from and you've learned lessons from, please do a video like this or do an article, whatever it is that you choose. Tag it with hashtag lessons learned, and I'm really curious to see your stories as well. Thank you so much for watching.